The information is presented for educational purposes only, is not intended to diagnose or prescribe for any medical or psychological condition, or to prevent, treat, mitigate, or cure such conditions. This information is only presented herein for entertainment and educational purposes only. Hi, welcome to the Whole Body Detox Show. I'm your host, David DeHaas, where each week we bring you information on how to heal the body naturally. We're located in Boise, Idaho, where we do a 10-day healing retreat, and are best known for helping people get their health miracle. If you want to know more about that, go to healingtheincurables.com. That's healingtheincurables.com. Or you can reach out to us on the telephone, 208-378-9911. Enjoy today's show. Good morning, everyone. David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center, and your host of the Whole Body Detox Show. Welcome to the show today. Thanks for tuning in to us and listening to us. By the way, if you miss any part of these shows, you get busy and so forth, I'm going to suggest two things. One, download the app on your smartphone or on your computer so you can listen to it there. Also, we also archive these shows on our podcast, and you get that at wholebodydetoxshow.com. You can also find it over on livingwaterscleanse.com. That's our website. And if you want to reach out to us for any reason, here's our phone number, 208-378-9911. I suggest you get it tattooed on your left wrist so it's easy to find when you need to call us. I'm joking, of course. I would never recommend tattooing. Please don't do it. It's very toxic. Which is why we're here. We talk about toxins. And many of you, it's getting near the end of the year. You're probably thinking, okay, I need to do a reset. I need to do a reboot. We talk about those things here. And today I want to talk about some big things that are in our world that you can avoid to keep your body clean and healthy. And one of the things you definitely want to do is go over and watch our webinar called The 4 Natural Laws of Healing. It's on the website, livingwaterscleanse.com. Top right, click on it and watch that webinar and learn how to heal your body. All right, well, we've had some disturbing news that has just happened to us in the last couple of weeks. The Boise City Council has decided to basically increase the pollution in the valley by allowing Verizon the keys to the city. What I mean by that is that there was a wireless ordinance they've had in place. And it was not the greatest wireless ordinance, but it did have a few things in it that were important. You had a conditional use permit process, which means if the applicant, the wireless industry, wants to put up a tower, then they file an application. You know, early on, we found that they weren't signing these applications. It was bizarre. Come in unsigned. Well, it gets worse, folks. Now, they'll basically be able to go in and put towers up anywhere and keep you out of the process. As they said in their reason for rewriting this code, in fact, as quickly as they rewrote it, was that there's going to be lots of applications and that they really don't want to be bothered. They don't have the staff time. Well, at the Planning and Zoning meeting on October 4th, the commission actually recommended that they keep the conditional use permit in place, and they actually require the industry to give notice to homeowners, because homeowners were complaining, hey, I come home, my yard's tore up. I have no idea when it's going to be fixed, or if at all. In fact, one resident has already complained to the city and filed an appeal against the tower. To this day, her yard's not been fixed. Here's what's really bizarre about this. In her testimony, she says, that tower was put up, my yard was dug up before any application had been filed. And what did the Boise City Council do? Oh, sorry. You gave a nice presentation. We like you. We think you're nicer than some other people who came before us, meaning us. I know it's for safe technology, but there's nothing we can do. We're preempted by federal law. They're not! And we have brought this to their attention over and over again. You know what's really disgusting to me? In my 45 years of doing business in the city, I have sat down in the past with planning and zoning commissioners, council members, and I've had a chit-chat where I've disagreed with what they're doing. You know, sit down across the table, have a cup of coffee. I've had two conversations with two of the council men and women, and the rest have either refused or just ignored me wanting to talk to him. In fact, one, I went to his business to talk to him, and he had all the reasons in the world he couldn't talk to me. So that's disturbing in itself, because Verizon is basically buffalo the attorneys, and I guess got to say it's just really sad when you have a staff of attorneys who are not thoroughly reading the law. So to bring you up to speed, so you're smarter than the Boise City Council attorneys, here's what you need to know. First of all, what am I talking about? Small cells. Small cell towers about 30 foot high. There'll be one about every 200 to 500 feet. If the council finishes this up and gives Verizon what they want, it'll be every 200 feet. We're talking thousands of towers in this city. and they will be as close as 20 feet from your home. Now, the commissioners actually recommend we keep them up 50 feet from in front of your home to mitigate any noise, because these things do spit out a lot of noise. They're also big power hogs. And what's interesting about that is you have a thing that Mayor McLean was on, a thing called the Boise Blueprint Committee back in 2012. In fact, her signature's on that Boise Blueprint. And they have this goal to keep the city green and sustainable. We're going to cut down the emissions. We're going to cut down the use of electricity. Not with these small towers. They use gobs of electricity. But they've ignored that. It kills insects, bees, defoliates the trees. We've got a guy on our staff who's been an AFib now 6 times. We have had other people report to me they have hearing problems. They it's night, they can't sleep. Their kids are sick. They got stomach problems. They've got all these issues are coming. And guys, it's going to get a lot worse unless you do something to stand up. And we could really use your help. Idahoans for Safe Technology has been working diligently, but we're a group of volunteers and we're doing the best we can. But we need more volunteers. We need more help. We need to raise money for legal defense. If you want to protect your city, and what's in it for you? Well, if you get a tower in front of your house, which the odds are pretty high you're going to, the average home value across the country has been documented to lose about 20 to 25% in value. And I would submit to you, where my friend lives, where he's been an AFib 6 times, if someone learns that that house is in the triangulation of 2 different towers going right through that house, like think of it as like a tornado, he won't be able to sell that home if it ever becomes where realtors require disclosure on this power, which I submit to you someday that probably will happen, because this is a real big problem. And the reality is that the city has a thing called the Land Use Planning Act, and our attorney and us, we pointed that out to him. It's a thing called LUPA, and it gives the cities the right to regulate these towers, where they go. And there's been several court cases in other parts of the country, just one in Connecticut last week, Massachusetts another week, that the judges found for the local community against wireless, because again, you have the right under the FCC law to regulate this. Why are the city attorneys confused? Because they're reading the Title II of the FCC code, and that's all about cell phone calls. And even with that, what is required under that law is the lowest amount of power necessary, and they're not following that. No one's regulating this. I pointed out to the city council, you guys need to hire an expert. You should have someone on staff that understands RF frequency, radio frequency. You should understand that. Someone should understand that. Someone should be monitoring these towers. Are they putting out the minimal amount of power needed? Has anyone actually provided a real study where is there a gap in coverage? A gap in coverage means you can't make a cell phone call in that area. Well, we know by maps that are provided by industry that Boise, Idaho, Meridian, Idaho, the whole valley is 100% covered. But they would have to prove that there's a gap in coverage. Not one application has provided a real propagation study. When I say real, I mean it's a propagation study where you actually take a drive test with a meter and you delineate the specifications of what's going to be coming out of that tower. And first of all, you just drive without the tower there and you say, hey, can I still get 5 bars on a cell phone? If you can, there's no gap in coverage. No need for a tower. Case closed. They've never done that. And we've been working on this for 19, 20 months, and it's sad to say that these guys are intellectually dishonest in doing their jobs. It's as simple as that. I can't tell you any way. They're calling us conspiracy theorists. I saw an article written about the decision, and these are all conspiracies. Not conspiracies at all. We've actually showed them in code. In fact, one Councilman Badgett, asked me, well, show me some places where the judges have said, hey, you can't put this here. I did. Several. Obviously, didn't read it or chose to ignore it because they bought into everything that Verizon has said. Guys, this is a real big problem. I am not going to stay in Boise, Idaho if these towers are allowed to be here. I'm not going to allow my brain to be radiated. I came to work the next day and there was a Spark-like truck on my driveway. I went over and talked to him. We started talking about these towers. Oh my word. This guy says, David, I'm going to tell you where the worst places in town are. I get a metallic taste in my mouth when I go up on the roofs of where these towers are. This is really dangerous stuff. And we went on and talked further, and it's just a sad day, guys. We can't have a pollution. Would you allow a rendering plant to go in next door to you? Would you allow a sewer facility to go next door to you? No. This is a pollution. This is a very high pollution that's going to radiate your brains. It penetrates right through your homes. Nothing you can do to hide from it. In fact, our board member has tried. He's put metal screens across his windows, put a special paint on his home, and he still has got high amount of signal coming in his house. We've been talking about pollution and things to avoid for your health, and one of the big ones is electromagnetic frequencies. There's many of you. They say something like 5 to 10% of the people are very, very sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies. Well, everyone is affected by it. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean it's causing a problem. I have met attorneys that have came out of retirement to fight this because their friends have died from when the cell tower went in. All of a sudden, boom, they've got this continual signal coming at their brains, and they created brain cancer. And when I interviewed the expert from was it Massachusetts? No, New Hampshire, a few weeks ago, Dr. Kent, he was telling me, and here's a guy who's been on towers his whole life, and he thought for sure that, looking into the health effects was going to be easy work because he didn't expect to find anything. Well, a year and a half later, they discovered, my gosh, there's over 18,000 studies, and there is a big problem with this. And they actually found and gave recommendations that, hey, if we're going to put these towers up, let's get them way up in the air. Let's get them 200 feet in the air, and let's get them away from populations. Let's get them at least 1,600 to 2,500 feet minimum away from people, away from homes, away from kids. Keep them off the schools. Don't put them downtown where it pings off the buildings. Right now, my wife, when we go downtown, she goes, David, what is going on? It's just, I feel horrible when I come down here. She says, yeah, there's a lot of towers up down here now. And it's hastening your death, my friends. Bottom line, it's hastening your death. There's no conspiracy theory. We actually brought in Cece Doucette, who 2011, I interviewed her about a year ago as well, and Cece came on and gave testimony. She actually put meters up to show how much power is just coming from your cell phone alone and what it's doing to the body. And she said you need to keep these away from schools, you need to keep them from children, pregnant women. Look, we need them out of our neighborhoods. We have the right, under the Fourth Amendment, to have privacy of our homes, keeping out pollution. We need the quiet enjoyment of our streets. And this city council and this mayor has chosen to ignore all of that. If you want to change things, my friends, if you're listening to this show today, you need to pick up that phone and you need to dial the mayor's office or go and email all the council members, and you want to have a meeting with those people. You want to talk to them and say, look, what are you doing to our city? What are you doing to my home? Because you're decreasing your home's value by having a tower every 200 feet in your neighborhood. There's no conspiracy, my friends. It's a real deal. And I hope you take this to heart. And if you want to join the cause, go to idahoansforsafetechnology.org. Sign up on our newsletter list. Please make a donation. We're all volunteers, but we got legal fees to pay as we continue in this battle to properly implement the safest thing. What's the safest thing, David? The safest thing is in the ground fiber optic cable. That's what the safest thing is. These towers can catch on fire. They have in many cities across the country. They're very, very dangerous, and they're 30 feet off the ground. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a lot of mayhem, a lot of very sick people if you're allowed to put 10,000 towers in this city. It just makes me sick. Okay, so other things. Again, reach out to me. I'm down here at Living Waters Wellness Center. If you want to talk about 5G and small cells any time of the day, call the office, 208-378-9911. If you've got any kind of expertise, if you like to ride, if you're a fundraiser, if you're someone who says, hey, I'm a mama bear, I'm a papa bear, I don't want my kids injured, there's something you can probably do. We'd love to have your help. So just call me at the office, 208-378-9911. I've been volunteering my time. I probably put over 1,000 hours in this last year. I made a lot of money doing it. I double my pay every day, 0 times 0 times 0. So that's what I've been making off of this. Guys, it's when I looked at all this evidence, I thought, oh my gosh, I can't allow this to happen to my grandson or my kids or anybody else. It's really devastating. Okay, other things you can do in your home. Electromagnetic frequencies. We've gotten so used to Bluetooth, and many of you guys are wearing these little Apple pods in your ear. I know I won one as a gift a couple years ago, and I used it for a hot moment. I thought, I don't think this could be that great for me. And sure enough, I had a client that came in and did our 10-day healing retreat, and they brought a meter in. So I started measuring everything. Oh my goodness. I don't carry my phone in my pocket when it's turned on. I turn it off. If I'm carrying my phone on me, don't put it in a bra strap. Don't put it in your pocket. They actually show in the studies how it decreases fertility rates. So if you have a wireless in your homes or in your apartment complex, wherever you're at, I put a timer on it and turn it off, or better yet, you can hardwire it. It's actually pretty simple to do hardwire to your cell phones, to your iPads, to all your devices. It's something that can be done, and it's not that expensive to do. Just a little coaxial cable or some anyway, there's a cable that can get to your phones. Really easy to do. So I would look at doing that. Test that. I've had people who have been where small cells have went. They've had wireless in their home. They've turned off the wireless. They went out of town, actually. So one person had ringing in her ears and couldn't sleep. So she left town for 3 or 4 days. When she's out of town at a remote location, no problem. Slept soundly. Comes back to her home, can't sleep. Yeah, it's a big deal. On our staff at Idaho for Safe Technology, we have a building biologist, Kathy Cook, and she does this for a living. She actually goes and measures stuff. We measured actually the county offices not too long ago. We measured the county commissioner's offices and the county clerk's offices, not only for cell towers, which there's one right there in their parking lot, but also for the dirty electricity coming off of that big electrical substation down there. And it was huge. I think she says it was, I may have the numbers wrong, but my memory serves me correctly. She says it was 10 Gauss and safe is under 1. And it's coming right into the windows. The people who are safest down there at the county are the ones who are farther inside the building. But those are the big offices out on the edge of the building are really getting hammered. We made some recommendations for them. But again, guys, we got to be smart about what we're doing with all this pollution. So be aware of what you're doing. Again, there are devices you can put on your cell phones that can help make your body more coherent to your cells, but it doesn't block it. You can't block the frequency and still get signal. So what do? Well, there's devices that have been proven to help make it more coherent for cell phones and a few of these devices, Bluetooth devices. But again, you're still getting some frequency coming through that's not good for the body. So ideally, when you're not using your phone, put it away from you. Don't carry it on your body if it's on. And at night, turn off your Wi-Fi and just see what happens. Baby monitors. There's so many different devices that are in our homes now. Those Ring devices that use Wi-Fi, the baby monitors, they have a high amount of energy. Don't put those next to a baby's brain, for crying out loud. We have so many Bluetooth devices. Again, you might want to spend some money and just see what that looks like. And we were so ahead of our time. My wife back in the 1990s had Idaho Power come out, and we measured things like the hairdryer and the dishwasher and the microwave and the televisions of how much energy was coming off those, and it was horrendous. We were like shocked, especially hair dryers. Who would have thought, right, that they could have that much dirty electricity coming off those? It's causing harm to your body. So be aware of where you're at. I know many people that tell me that they go to certain hotels or their friends live in a certain apartment complex where everyone's got a Wi-Fi router and they get sick and they notice it. So I think in the end, we're going to see a lot more lawsuits come regarding this because you've got a lot of people who know it right away, and the Americans for Disabilities Act, I think, comes into play definitely. And how that'll all eventually get legislated out, I have no idea. But I know right now in Boise, Idaho, we got to do something real about it. So definitely call your city and tell them they need to listen to Idahoans for Safe Technology and learn how to properly regulate and legislate the proper implementation of cell towers. Because we want to keep the city safe and clean. We don't want to destroy the bees. We don't want to destroy the insects. We don't want to destroy the birds. That all happens with this high amount of radiated power. Okay, next thing we need to talk about, what are you drinking every day, right? First thing in the morning, you need to feed your brain water. Water's really, really important. I was not a water drinker for a number of years. I was 6 Coca-Colas a day. How bad was that? Well, eventually I had cancer, all the toxicity I was putting in my body. And when the gal told me, says, David, your food for your brain is water. And so in the morning when I get up, I have water by my bed. I have a half gallon or a 32-ounce jug. First thing I do is I swallow as much of that water as I can. I feed my brain first. I don't drink coffee in the morning. If you're a coffee drinker, drink the water first, have your coffee later. Get that water, that hydration into your brain. Hey, we'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned. I'm David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center. Stay tuned. You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you. All right, we've been talking a lot this program about small cells. And by the way, if you've missed any of this, small cell towers, 5G, aka 5G, we talked about that. I've got a lot of broadcasts on it. You definitely want to reach out to your council people, complain to them and say, hey, we don't want this. We want our city to be safe. I want my backyard to be safe. I want to be able to have my kids play in it without getting radiated and getting brain cancer. I want to be able to live in my home and be able to sleep. You need to call the city council, and you need to call the mayor's office, and you need to ramp it up, folks. And then join Idones for Safe Technology. Get on our newsletter list. Reach out to us. Reach out to me directly. We need volunteers. We need help. 208-378-9911. Okay, we're talking about getting it set up for the new year. We're going into Christmas. And you've probably already been to lots of parties where you've probably eaten some things that were not maybe appropriate. And so, don't beat yourself up too badly, but let's do some colonics. Let's do some colon hydrotherapy. David, what's colon hydrotherapy? Well, colon hydrotherapy is your best friend when it comes to detoxifying the body. If you want to do a real cleanse, you'll hydrate within. Just like you do a shower on the outside, you want that shower on the inside. To learn more about what a colonic or a colon hydrotherapy session looks like, go to our website, livingwaterscleanse.com. And we've got a little 10-minute video on there. It shows you exactly what it looks like. We have the nicest beds in the industry, very comfortable. You're in the privacy of your own room. You're going to hydrate that colon. Now, why is it important to hydrate the colon? Well, over time, you probably haven't drank enough water. Your colon gets 2.5 gallons of water recycled through it every day. But most of you are constipated. Even the least constipated of people, the average person out there listening to this broadcast today packs 12 to 14 pounds of just old gunk in their trunk. And that's causing problems. It blocks the neurons from firing the nerves. The nerves to what? The nerves to all your organs. Every organ in your body. Your liver, your kidney, your lungs, your joints. You've got arthritis, we got to clean you out. You've got thyroid issues, you need to be cleaned out. You got hormone issues, you got a liver problem, you need to be cleaned out. Maybe it's gotten worse. Maybe you've got diagnosed with some kind of a lump in your lymphatic system. Well, let's clean out the body. Let's dump the toxins. Let's move that lymphatic. Let's get that lymphatic fluid moving again, and let's clean it out. Water's your best friend. We talked on a show a while back about parasites. Parasites are a real deal. Parasites cause a lot of problems. They create their own energy in you that's probably not apropos to how you want to live your life. They spit out their own toxins. In fact, according to Dr. Hulda Clark and her research, she says if you want to get rid of cancer, get rid of the parasites. You'll be in remission right away. So cleaning out that colon is important to do. And so that should be your first order of doing a detox. Let's drink the water, right? Let's get the water up the hind end as well. Let's clean all that out. Let's hydrate it. Let's dissolve all the old junk that's there. Let's clean that out. You're going to feel lighter and refreshed. That's a comment that everyone makes when they come through it. I feel better. I feel lighter. I can think more clearly. I'll tell you a story that happened to me this last week. I had a client come, or a future client come in, potentially, and she was here because a relative was here doing our 10-day healing retreat. And by the way, if you want to learn what that retreat looks like, go watch the webinar, 4 Natural Laws of Healing, on our website at livingwaterscleanse.com. Or if you need to send to us, just call the office at 208-378-9911. We'll send it right out to you. Or if you want to schedule a consultation, you can do that as well. We'll give you a little tour, show you the place. Anyway, I'm looking at this gal, and we're having a conversation, and I looked at her and I said, how long you had those dark circles? She looks at me, and her husband was there and said, wow, yeah, you do have those. You've had those for quite a while. Well, dark circles are the symptom of a toxic body. Come to find out, she's having some fertility issues. She says, yeah, we're going to go into fertility treatments. And for those of you who are looking at doing that, I would suggest you come to our 10-day healing retreat first, because I've had people like you who could not conceive. They came and cleaned out their body, got all the toxins out, cleaned out their liver, got all those parasites out, all those heavy metals out, really cleansed the body up. Next thing you know, they had babies. In fact, one story was pretty amazing. This mother was told she would never be able to have children, so she adopted. And once she did our cleanse, she got pregnant. Not once, but twice. It was an amazing surprise to her, and she was grateful for it. I had another client that came through, and my wife says, I think you should be aware that I think you are apt to get pregnant. Your body has changed a lot on this 10-day cleanse. She says, oh, not going to happen with me, and I'm over 40. Not going to happen. It happened, folks. You get the body clean. I don't care who you are, where you are. You get it clean. You have the ability to heal from anything. That's truly my belief. That's my experience over 12 plus years of watching people come in the door. Some people have been rolled in here in a wheelchair. Others have been carried in. Yeah, I had a gal carried in here. Her legs were literally frozen. It was really the most bizarre thing I had seen at that time. I had seen a lot of bizarre stuff, guys. And but by golly, you know what? Those frozen legs got unfrozen. And what a change in just a few days. It was actually amazing. Another guy, the guy couldn't walk at all, but well, there's been several guys like that. But two in particular I'm thinking of right now. One had a non-alcoholic fatty liver, and he had, of course, had problems with, he had 16 stents put in his arteries over the years. So obviously been around a lot of toxicity. When you get that much cholesterol building up in your arteries, that's a lot of free radical damage. Anyway, he couldn't walk. He couldn't stand. We had to lift him to get him on the colonic bed or on any of the massage tables. And 5 days he was walking with a walker. And by the end of the cleanse, he could stand up, sit down, and he had gotten rid of the wheelchair and was very confident he would eventually give up the walker. And I heard later, about 3 months later, he was able to give up the walker as well. So, the body is amazing. It's amazing considering the amount of abuse we give it, that it can heal. I'm always still in awe of the miraculous setup that's within our body that God gave us, that gives us that ability. But I got to tell you, you clean it out, you have the chance to heal from anything. That's my belief. And a lot of that, and a lot of this is just basic stuff, guys. Clean the colon, clean the small intestine, clean the blood, serve up perfect nutrition. Now, most of you skip that part. For the life of me, I don't know why, but you're a cheapskate, basically. You want to save money and not spend the money on good quality nutrition to feed your body. And it's one of the most important things you do. It's more important than having a life insurance policy, your health policy, because this is giving you the nutrition to be the catalyst for converting food to energy in your cells. And most people skip that, and we've got to get over that. We need to spend the money. You're spending money on Starbucks, you're spending money on going to the coffee shop and getting the $5, $4 latte. You spend $4 or $5 a day on a good quality supplement, I'm going to tell you, it's going to change your world forever. And we actually have a machine down here we can measure to see if your supplements actually work. So if you want to take us up on that offer, on an offer to come down and say, hey, David, show me what's my body saying to me. I mean, are my supplements really effective? Are they getting absorbed in my body? Give the office a call, 208-378-9911. We'll set up an appointment to test you. It costs you $25 to have that little test done, but give the office a call and check it out. It's well worth knowing where you're at. Are you juicing? Are you using high quality nutrients? I hope you're buying only organic food and not any of the toxic food. Especially one of the most toxic foods that a lot of people are juicing today is celery. Do not buy celery that's not organic. That is so bad for you. All right, I'm David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center and your host of the Whole Body Detox Show. Hey, if you want to reach out to us, schedule an appointment to come in and give colon hydrotherapy a shot, call the office at 208-378-9911. I know somebody out there is saying, I wouldn't mind trying that out. Tell you what I'm going to do. You mentioned the name of this show, Whole Body Detox Show on KIDO Talk Radio. I'm going to give you $250 worth of services for just $99. So you're going to call the office and say, hey, I want the $99 treatment that was mentioned on the radio, and that's going to include far infrared therapy, lymphatic detox therapy, and a colonic, plus a consult with me. And I'm going to tell you, a consult with me, I don't give you just 3 minutes like your doctor does. I give you 15, 20 minutes, a half hour, whatever it takes. I listen to you, and I give you information. I got to tell you, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure out how to get well on my own and heal from my cancer and my allergies and my asthma and the fungus and the candida yeast and getting the heavy toxic metals out of my body. And just like this week, I had a gal call me, and it was an emergency. And about 3 minutes into it, after she started explaining what's going on, I said, you don't need to tell me anymore. I've lived it, I've done it, and I've healed it in my own body. And she came here, and she's doing the wellness retreat right now. And if you want to learn about that wellness retreat, again, go to livingwaterscleanse.com and watch the webinar, 4 Natural Laws of Healing. Look, at everyone in your family should watch that webinar. You need to understand just the basic things of how to heal the body from within. And you can heal the body from within by applying those 4 natural laws. Okay, we talked a lot in this show about avoiding electromagnetic frequencies. We talked about drinking water first thing in the morning, getting a colonic therapy. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about, for those of you who are going to do a water fast or a juice fast, let me just tell you a couple stories. I had a guy that came to me about a year ago, and he had done a 40-day water fast. He says, David, I sense I should do some colonics. And he did, that's after 40 days of not eating, just water. He did his first colonic. He goes, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm getting all this stuff out. I said, yeah, you should do a 10 days. So he did. He did 10 days. And he was absolutely blown away by how much gunk he got out of his body. So if you're out there thinking you're clean and you've done water fasts and juice fasts, I applaud you for doing that. That gives your body a great break, which it so deserves. And if you're doing a juice cleanse, it's not really a cleanse. If you're doing juicing for your nutrients, great. That's awesome, because you're getting those micronutrients into the body. But you know what? As I mentioned in the webinar, I talk about a thing called the shag carpet. The shag carpet is the wall of your small intestine. They call it the villi in the anatomy books. And that villi is what absorbs the vitamins and minerals after the food's been broken down through the digestive process, and it gets absorbed in the blood and then goes to the cells to nourish the cells. Because at the end of the day, what do we got to heal? The cells. Got to heal the cells. 50 trillion cells. You got to take care of 50 trillion people in your body. You need high quality nutrition. And to get it absorbed, let's clean out that small intestine, get that surface area clean rather than have that, what I call shag carpet, villi, flat like a tile floor. Because how much can you absorb through a tile floor? Nothing. That's why we put them in kitchens and bathrooms, right? Well, in your gut, we want that villi to be able to absorb those nutrition. So if you clean out your body and you're juicing and you're taking good quality supplements, guess what? You're going to boost your nutritional score because you did the right things. Meanwhile, if you're juicing and you've got constipated body, and I'll submit to you, probably 95% of people listening to this show are constipated. Maybe you're having one bowel movement a day. Okay, you say that's great, but do you eat 3 times a day? If you do, if you're eating and not pooping, that's a problem. And some of you might be pooping every 2 days, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks. I've seen people go 2 months, which is, couldn't believe that ever happened, but it did. I tell you what, when we clean you out, you are a different person physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You are different. You feel it, and it's amazing. And now we can give it the good nutrition. So I would submit to you, if you're getting ready for the first of the year, our prices are going up the first of the year. So if you want to buy a package and get set for the first of the year, call the office right now, 208-378-9911, and book in your cleanse for the new year. If you got to wait till the new year, book it now, pay the 2021 prices, and do your cleanse in 2021. Our next healing retreat is going to be on the 10th day of January. Mark that on your calendars. I don't know if we have any slots left when this show airs, but that's usually one of our busiest cleanses is the January 1st. For obvious reasons, it's a new year, new reset. We're going to get after our goals and change our body. So if you're thinking about going to the gym, kudos to you. Let's make your body work better. Let's allow the body to lose weight easier. When you've got heavy metals in your body and pesticides and toxins, your body's looking for places to store it. And one of the ways it does that, when the liver's full and it's stored in the joints, and the joints are going, oh, my joints are hurting, it's going to make fat. So I've seen people who have done the bypass surgery to lose weight, which is basically that's a starvation program. I don't recommend it for anybody. But then they start gaining the weight back. They lose 160 pounds, 100 pounds, whatever it is, and all of a sudden they gain 20 or 30 back, and they don't know why. It's because they have so many pesticides and heavy metals in their body, and the liver is saying, hey, dude, I've got to store this. I'm going to store it in the fat rather than store it in your heart and your liver, your spleen, your kidney. I'm going to prevent that from happening and give you the chance to detox. Come on, listen to me. Please detox. So what's the liver further do? Well, it's there in some of these toxins are in the subcutaneous tissue, just underneath the skin. And so for those of you who got hives or rashes, by the way, this cleanse, we had several people like that. That is your body saying, hey, the liver said, hey, I'm done. I have no more place to store it. And when you have a little stress, boom, comes to the skin. And especially with heavy metals, you're going to have some candida yeast, some fungus going on. And but we can clean that up. And I've done it. I used to have it all over my legs and feet. And so to reverse that, we've got the tools here to do that. And our 10-day healing retreat is the ticket. If you've got skin issues, psoriasis, hives, rashes, acne, whatever you want to call it, to me, I don't call it those names. I just call it, you got a toxic bucket. Let's clean out the bucket. The bucket meaning your body. Clean out the colon, clean out the small intestine. Clean up that liver so that you can heal it. And guys, when you do that, I don't care what you got going on in your world, you're going to notice it. You're going to be a different person. For sure, for sure. So, take us up on that offer that I just proposed to you earlier in this segment. $99 to do a $250 package. You get the consult, the far infrared therapy. We'll give you a lot of love. We'll give you the lymphatic detox and, of course, the colonic. And the gals down here in the colon hydrotherapy room, they'll show you what to do. So if you're still a little concerned, a little feared up about it, go to our website at livingwaterscleanse.com. Watch a little 12-minute video on how a colonic is done. It's really super easy to do. It's very, very private. You're not exposed. Your dignity is kept in check, so everything's fine there. We're not in the room with you the whole time. The first day, the therapist, she'll be in and out of the room with you, just coaching you up. You can call her whenever you need her, but it's really your time to let go and release and clean out that colon and start cleaning up the body. So it's really, really, most people, after you do a few times, you're a pro, and it's, like I say, you'll come to appreciate it so much more after you do a couple of them. And so definitely take us up on that offer. A couple of reminders. If you missed the first part of the show, we were talking about the disaster that's happening within our town with the wireless, small cell wireless that's going on. We need to stop that, guys. You need to call your city council people. You need to call your mayor. You need to complain. They need to listen, and they need to listen to us. They need to listen to our attorney. I mean, we've got the best attorney in the nation who's won 80% of his lawsuits, and he's been in court 17,000 times. Former FCC guy. He knows what he's doing. And we can have real quality regulations on this stuff so we protect our property rights, protect our bodies, protect our brains. That needs to happen. Hey, I'll be back next week again on the Whole Body Detox Show. I'm David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center. I'll see you again next week. You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you.